Hi guys, and welcome back to Cashbrite. Chris here, and in this video I want to talk about the stock market and the possibility of there being a second crash in 2020. Now, as we all know, the onset of the coronavirus pandemic led to most economies in the world locking down in March. This had the effect of causing thousands of investors selling and closing out their positions in the stock market. The stock market suffered a crash, and things were starting to look like the beginning of a dystopian movie. Although this move by investors to dump their positions was reactionary, it was rational at the time, as whole industries either stopped functioning or were forced into a kind of low power saving standby mode. Governments around the world were forced to intervene in markets with stimulus packages to both prop up the economy and quell the inevitable rise in unemployment. But whilst everyone expected the stock market to bounce back, as it always has done in the past, something strange started to happen. Investors, perhaps driven by unprecedented access to news and opinion through modern-day multimedia sources, began to behave incredibly bullish and drove the stock market upwards at an inexplicably rapid pace. This level of optimism was, and still is, at odds with the underlying economy, which seems increasingly unlikely to perform a V-shaped return to growth. The optimistic buying of stocks has led to massive rises in stock prices, particularly in respect of the Nasdaq, like with Tesla, which grew from around $430 at the start of the year to over $1,500 in July. These kinds of price rises have been described as a clear marker that the market is in bubble territory, and analysts have been falling over themselves to call out what they believe will be the next market crash. You know, in my view, the stock market certainly has behaved even more irrationally than it has done in previous years. I also do agree that we are indeed on course for a crash, of sorts, simply because every day the gap between the real economy and the stock market grows ever wider. Think about it, unemployment numbers are up, economic activity is sluggish at best, and national debt burdens weigh heavy on policymakers' minds. Public spending in response to the pandemic will eventually need to come down, and governments will, at their earliest opportunity, introduce tax rises. Commercial costs in the new post-COVID-19 normal will likely be higher and revenue lower, as consumers take their time to regain confidence to return to Main Street. Now, the knock-on effect of all of this is that larger companies will post substantially reduced earnings, and small and medium-sized businesses will struggle to simply balance their books. Bankruptcies are already striking down well-known companies such as Hertz, and will claim many more over the next 12 to 18 months. Will we see a major crash in the second half of 2020? Well, I doubt it myself. Certainly there will be volatility, but I believe investors still have many more reserves of bullish optimism left to unleash on this market yet. I suspect that a crash will occur from next year, once companies have had time to lick their wounds and to evaluate the full devastation caused by the pandemic. One thing is for sure though, the sharp rise in stock prices over the last few months is unsustainable. So, what are we all to do? Well, I don't think we need to panic, presuming you are not a day trader or someone that only invests in smaller cap, higher growth stocks. With a sensible, diversified portfolio, a good mix of stocks with solid financials and a long-term view of your returns, investors could ride out any crash and have a good chance of seeing prices rebound. Just look at March of this year. Stocks were sold off, the bell of Armageddon was effectively rung on Wall Street, and yet, stocks rebounded far stronger than anyone expected. So whilst a crash is almost certainly on the horizon at some point, I believe that the risk of loss can certainly be managed and minimised with careful planning. But what do you think about this? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, If you found this video to be helpful, please leave a like and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And until the next time, stay sharp, stay hungry, and stay cash bright.